Hello, Max Lose, your source for all things Everton. Actually, Pouncing, I'm here to look ahead to Monday night's game against Manchester United. Obviously, Everton were on Monday Night Football a couple of weeks back, or a couple of games back anyway, against Sunderland. We played quite well for 35 minutes of that game, and then not so well for the ensuing sort of 55 minutes. And we ended up getting a draw that day. We were also on Monday Night Football first game of the season against Leeds, and had a very dubious decision given against us, in my opinion, which resulted in us losing that game. It's not a great deal of luck on the Monday night, but obviously back in action, international breaks come and gone, and obviously now everyone knows, we're not only going into a kind of really busy November, December period, but obviously no more breaks for international football between now and March. The Cup starting obviously in a few weeks as well, so there'll be more games, lots of action, and it's always an exciting time for a fan in the Premier League. And obviously it's a case that I think your season can very much be defined by these few weeks and how well do you get on with the game load. Can you keep as many players fit as possible? Obviously there's going to be some rotation, there's going to be some players getting minutes who maybe don't get so many, but I think for now we're probably okay. Still going to be sticking with kind of the same team and seeing how we get on. So yeah, Monday night's away at United. I think it's fair to say United are doing much better than I thought they were going to be doing so far this season. Obviously won at Anfield a couple of weeks ago, which was obviously a good laugh. And they've had some other good results. I do think it's been slightly blown out of proportion. They beat Sunderland, for example. That kind of ended a pretty poor run they've been on. And yeah, Sunderland had a decent start, but they are a newly promoted Premier League team. Man United should be beating them at home, and they did with relative ease. I think maybe the performances have been better, and obviously the likes of Cunha's made a big difference, and Burma has been really good for them. Obviously Lamond is coming in goal and looks much better than what they had previously, so they definitely improved this season, and I think they probably will end up finishing in those sort of top 8 places. But I certainly don't think they're unbeatable. I certainly think Everton can go there and cause them issues. We really let ourselves down with the away game last season. They hadn't gotten going under the new manager. We went away and we were really bad, weren't we? Obviously a lot of individual errors in that game. We ended up getting beat 4-0, which that result got worse pretty much every week as last season went on, didn't it? The more you're thinking out of it, the more you're thinking, how on earth did we, not only did we lose to this team, but how did we get beat so poorly, especially an hour into the reverse fixture when we were 2-0 up and absolutely cruising against them, and again had a very poor decision towards the end of that game, meaning that we didn't maybe get the 3 points. But obviously it's a new season now and they are looking much better. I think for Everton, a couple of games unbeaten now, had a bit of a poor run after the last international break, went into the last one with, I say, 4 points from 2 games. Sour taste left in the mouth from the Sunderland game, obviously, because we definitely should have gotten more than a point there, but we let ourselves down big style. Bounced back against Fulham and played much better. Fulham gave very little resistance to Everton, but Everton played well. So I was very pleased that going into the international break makes a big difference when you obviously won a game. Tierno Barry looked good. He's getting closer and closer to his goal. Can Monday night be the game? That's what you're hoping for. Obviously, Eamon and playing well too, and obviously he had a bit of a knock going into the break. So hopefully he's been able to kind of rest that at least a little bit, and we can obviously go into the game on Monday with him fully fit. Jack Grealish back in Manchester. Be interested to see how he gets on. He had a bit of, not stick, but I saw some people saying like his output's not good enough, and it's just like, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy talk. A man who's created, I think, the second most big chances. His dribbling success rate's really good. He's obviously got a goal, got a few assists as well. So he's had a really good season. Maybe he wasn't at his best against Fulham, but that's fine. Hopefully he can prove a point against them. He scored a couple of nice goals against United down the years for Villa. In particular, one at the Trafford and the scene to remember. So let's hope he can have a bit of a point to prove on Monday. I think in terms of Everton injury news, obviously we're going to still be without Jared Brandthwaite, which is a shame, but we all knew that. He's going to be out till around the new year. And then Merlin Rose picked up a hernia injury. He's going to be out for a few weeks. Very frustrating with that, because obviously his injury record coming to Everton was pretty poor. Didn't start off great, and then he's been in the squad but not starting games. He came on against Fulham, didn't think I saw too much of him, but then there's this kind of clamour for him to start and try something new, which I get. It'd be nice to see that, but he's now obviously back injured. And talking about that busy period with some rotation players like Zahin, the likes of Alcaraz, for example, are going to get minutes, you'd think. It's a bit of a shame that he's going to be missing for sort of 3 or 4 weeks now, so he's not going to be involved. You'd imagine, I'd like to think, he'll probably stick with the same team as the Fulham game, stick with James Garner at right back, but I think he will put him back in midfield, and I imagine we'll see Jake O'Brien come back into the team, assuming there's no lasting damage from his Ireland exploits. Obviously he came off for half time of the the Hungary game. As in James Coleman will be involved, but probably not going to be starting again. He had, whatever, I think played the last part of 2 hours of football during the international break, which is more than he's done for Everton for a little while, that's for sure. So, I imagine it will be Jake O'Brien back to right back, James Garner in midfield with Jussi Gay, Kendrick Hall, Grealish and Dye Barry. It's classic. I think we are still in a moment that we are thinking, is he going to bring Barry out again? Is he going to put Beto back in? Much prefer Barry to stay in, given his performances in the last couple of weeks. Need him to get that goal, and if he can do it on Monday, that'll be absolutely perfect. So, I think, unfortunately, David Moyes' record, at Man United is not very good. Even when he was manager there, wasn't brilliant. So, I've got a bad feeling this could be like a 2-0 kind of beat before we kicked off kind of vibe, because that's what's happened the last few times at Old Trafford. We've gone there and just kind of thrown the ball in our own net, giving away a couple of penalties a couple of seasons ago, and then the game last season where, every player in the team just making mistakes and we end up giving away a few sloppy goals. Seen it many times down the years under Moyes' Everton, so hoping for something slightly different this time, and I do think we can give them problems, so I'm going to go and say I think we probably will lose the game, unfortunately. I'd say probably 2-0 to Man United, but I obviously hope they can be proving me wrong, and it's certainly not a game that I think we should be losing and before the game's even starts. If we give them a good game, then I think we can certainly get something out of it. So let me know your thoughts down below. Who do you want to see playing on Monday and what do you think the score is going to be? Thanks very much. See you next time.